So in this slide, we'll be discussing about yield curve. The term structure of interest rates refer to the way in which the yield on a security varies according to the term of borrowing. The interest rate for different maturities of a debt can be shown graphically in a yield curve. Normally, the longer the term to maturity, the higher the rate of interest. This is shown by the normal yield curve in the diagram. Occasionally, interest rates may be higher for short-term maturities than long-term maturities. When this happens, there is a negative yield curve, which is also illustrated in the diagram below. So we look at what is an yield curve. So yield curve is a representation like this. On one axis, you have the term to maturity. For example, you might have a 1-year maturing bond and you might have a 10-year maturing bond. And what does the interest, the rate of interest for that 1-year bond in the market? Okay. So normally what they indicate is the shorter duration bonds have a lower interest rate and the longer duration bond has a higher interest rate. So usually the interest rate will be going upwards with the nature of the time, with time. So the higher the time, higher will be the interest rate, and lower the duration of the bond, lower will be the interest rate. But occasionally what happens is the longer term interest rate can be below the short term interest rate. So this is called as the downward sloping yield curve. So there are different types of yield curves. For example, if you take this to be a 1-year bond and another 10-year bond, so you can see here the interest rate is always flat. Yield curve can also be like this. If you take this bond, it has a 1-year yield which is lower, and the interest rate for a 10-year bond is much more higher, and this is called the normal curve. In this diagram, we see that the 1-year interest rate for a bond is higher than the 10-year interest rate, and this is called the inverted yield curve, or it can also be called as a negative yield curve. This is another yield curve where the 1-year bond is lower, and for the 5-year bond the interest rate is higher, and for the 10-year bond it is again the interest rate is lower here. So it can also be that in different term structures, okay, the yield curve can go up and down. So there are different shapes and yield curve can take. Why interest rates differ for different maturities? So we just now saw that for a 1-year loan, okay, for a 1-year loan the interest is lower, and if you take a 5-year loan the interest rate is higher. So this is expressed through the normal yield curve. But why does this occur? To explain this phenomena, there are different theories. The first theory is called as liquidity preference theory. The liquidity preference means investors prefer having cash now to deferring the use of cash by lending it or investing it. We can explain this through an example. For example, your friend asks you a loan. Your friend asks you a loan, and he asks you an amount of 1 lakh, and this 1 lakh is for 1 month. Now, will you charge him any interest? The answer is no. It's a very short period. Okay, you just want a 0%. Assume that the same friend, instead of asking you a 1 month loan, he's asking a 1 lakh loan for 5 years. So what happens is, will you charge the same 0% interest? The answer is no. Now you feel it is little bit risky to give it to them, and you might say, or you might ask something like a 10% loan, okay? Or he says, your friend says, so if you feel risky, I'll give some gold jewels at my home to you, and you give me the loan. So even at that point of time, you will feel that, okay, as I'm getting golds as a collateral or as a pledge, what I'll do is I'll reduce my interest rate to 5%. Okay. So earlier you were the same person who offered him 1 lakh at 0% interest, but now you're trying to charge him a 5% interest. Okay. Why does this happen? Because you feel in 5 years time anything can happen. Your friendship can break, he can become poor, or he might run away with your money, might even die in that period. So there is a risk of the money not getting returned back. So the risk is always higher in the longer run. The risk is higher in the longer run, but the risk always lower in the shorter run. So the risk is what determines the interest here. The same logic we can also apply to a company. You take a company and they want to give a loan. Okay. So you take a company and they want to give a loan, a 1 year loan to another company, and there's also a 5 year loan to another company. In 1 year, the chance of bankruptcy is lower, but in 5 years time the same bankruptcy is higher in nature. So the risk is lower in the shorter duration. In 1 year time the company might not be closed, but in a longer 5 year time there might be a chance that the companies can get closed. Okay. As the risk is lower, you will charge a lower interest rate. As the risk is higher, you will charge a higher interest rate. So if you look at here, the 1 year loan, that is why it is having a lower interest rate, and the 5 year loan, that is why it is having a higher interest rate. So the in between data is the logic for why 1 year loan is lower and the 5 year loan is having a high interest rate. So investors also prefer having cash sooner to having cash later. The sooner the cash, the better. So they also prefer the cash to be of a low duration loan. They therefore want compensation in the form of a higher interest, higher return for being unable to use their cash now. So they want cash immediately. If the cash is not available, then they will only ask for a much more higher interest rate. The required return increases with the length of time for which the cash is unavailable. Because of this, long-term interest rates such as bond yields tend to be higher than short-term yields, and the yield curve slopes upwards. So it is purely for the basis of liquidity. So people want more liquidity, and liquidity is given more preference. The higher the liquidity, lower the interest rate, and the longer the period of loan, the lower the liquidity, hence the higher interest. So if you see, without liquidity premium, the curve might even be flat, but as investors in the market wants a premium, so what they do is they want a higher, they charge a higher amount of interest for the longer duration of time. The liquidity preference theory has a drawback. This theory cannot explain any other yield curve. For example, we have other yield curves like the negative yield curve, or the humped yield curve, or the flat yield curve. These curves cannot be explained by the liquidity preference theory, because the theory states that people will always want a higher return for the longer duration of time. So if liquidity preference theory correctly states this, it cannot state this or this or this. So that is the drawback of liquidity preference theory. Why interest rates differ for different maturities? We look at a second theory. It's called as the expectations theory. Expectations theory states that interest rates reflect expectations of future changes in interest rates. So in this theory, they feel that the markets have expectation of what would be the future interest rate, and according to that only the current interest rate keeps changing. So it works like this. So if you feel the price of potato, okay, in 5 days time, it's going to become like 100 rupees, but the today's the same potatoes price is around some 20 rupees. What would happen? The next day the price will go to 40. Okay, in the next one day it will go to 40. The next day, in the second day, it will go to something like 60. In the third day, it will go to something like 80. The fourth day, it will go to 90. And in the fifth day, it will go to 100 because that is what you are expecting. Okay, you are expecting the price to be 100 rupees in the 5 days time. So the price gradually keeps climbing and it reaches the 100. So this is what is called as expectations theory. Interest rates are expected to rise in the future. The yield curve will slope upwards. So if interest rates are, the current interest rate is here, okay, and in the future it is going to be here, means the interest rate will be like this. So it is an upward or a normal yield curve. But if interest rates are expected to drop, it can also like fall to the inverted or negative yield curve. So it can be a negative yield curve. Okay, this theory can explain whatever like different types of uh, yield curves are. So it does not only like explain the normal yield curve, because the earlier liquidity preference theory can explain only the normal yield curve, but this expectations theory can explain any yield curve because it is only the expectation which determines the yield curve. So it can be easily explained by this theory. When interest rates are expected to fall, short-term rates may be higher than long-term rates and the yield curve can be downward sloping. Thus, the shape of the yield curve gives an indication about how interest rates are expected to move in the future. So, how the yield curve like shapes out, that is what the market is also expecting the interest rate to move. So, we'll move on to the next theory. The next theory is called as market segmentation theory. Market segmentation theory of interest rate suggests that the slope of the yield curve will reflect conditions in different segments of the market. This holds that the major investors are confined to a particular segment of the market and will not switch segment even if the forecast of the likely interest rate changes. So we look at the picture. So this theory says that every duration of loan are a different kind of segments or markets. Okay, so there are like buyers and sellers in this small segment. For example, a 1 year loan segment. And there are also like buyers and sellers in the 5 year segment, and there are also like buyers and sellers in a 10-year loan segment. So there are like different types of buyers in each segment. So each of them is going to determine the supply and demand and they form a point. So each of them determine a small point, but only when you add these points you get the normal yield curve. Okay, assume the 5 year interest rate is, the supply demand is going to be pointed here and the 10-year loan is going to be pointed here. What would happen if you mark all the points? It comes to a negative yield curve. So again, market segmentation theory can explain any type of yield curve. So it can explain a flat curve, a upward sloping, a downward sloping, or a humped yield curve. So the yield curve is not a single line. It is actually a different types of markets, and in each market there are like different buyers and sellers. Their interaction is only like determining a single point. Okay, only when we connect the points we get the yield curve. That is called as the market segmentation theory. So the interest rate is also affected by the government's policy of keeping interest rates relatively high, may have the effect of forcing short-term interest rates higher than the long-term rates. Similarly, a government may have a policy of very low short-term interest rates. In the USA or Eurozone or the UK, the central banks are responsible for managing short-term interest rates through the rates at which the central bank lends to the banks. So, even the government policy can affect it. For example, if the government is, if the normal interest rate is here, okay, short term interest, and the long term interest is somewhere here, so the curve is a negative sloping curve. What the government can do is, the government will start to sell a lot of, will try to buy a lot of bonds from this market, the 1 year short term market. As the government buys bonds, as the government buys bonds, okay, what happens is, The bond will move to the government and the cash will move to the market. As now there is a lot of amount of cash in the market, the interest rate will start to fall. The interest rate will start to fall. Now the curve can even be a flat curve, or if the government is very aggressive, it can also be a normal curve. So the government has the power to convert any curve. So that is what is like told here. So what are the various factors affecting the interest rates in an economy? Need for a real return. So every investor wants a return which is adjusted for inflation or return after inflation. So that is what real return refers to. Inflation, the interest rate is also determined based upon the inflation in a country. Uncertainty about future rates of inflation. Liquidity preference of investors. Balance of payment or deficit in the government's account. Monetary policy of the government. These are the factors which determine the interest rate in an economy. So we'll see a quiz. In relation to the term structure of interest rates, what is an inverted yield curve? An inverted yield curve is something like this. So it's not an upward sloping, it is not U-shaped, it is a downward sloping, it's not horizontal. Okay. So the answer should be B. The answer is B. We'll move on to our next question. Which of the following statement is correct? Governments may raise interest rates so the level of expenditure in the economy will increase. If you increase the interest rate, the level of expenditure in the economy will fall. It will not increase. So this is wrong. Normal yield curve slopes upward. Yes. To reflect increasing compensation to investors for being unable to use their cash now. This is correct, and this is explained by liquidity preference theory. The yield on long-term loans is lower than the yield on short-term loans. Yes, this is correct, because long-term debt is less risky. No, this is not less risky. It's actually more risky for a company than a short-term debt. This sentence is correct, but this explanation is wrong. So the answer is wrong. Expectation theory states that future interest rates reflect expectations of future inflation rate movement. It's not future inflation rate movement, it is future interest rate movement. So the answer is wrong. So the answer should be B. The answer is B. We have another quiz. Which of the following statements are correct? The general level of interest rates is affected by investors' desire for a real return. Yes, because investors want a real return. Market segmentation theory can explain kinks or discontinuities in the yield curve. So what is a kinks? Kinks works like this. The interest rate is the normal yield curve will be like this, or an inverted yield curve can be like this. Kinked curve is something like this. Short term might be lower, the medium term might be higher, and the long term might be lower. So this is a kinked curve. So market expectation theory can explain the kinked curve. The answer is yes, because it divides the market into segments: the short term segment, the medium term segment, and the long term segment. Each segment is a different market, so it can explain any yield curve. When interest rates are expected to fall, the yield curve could be sloping downwards. The answer is yes. When interest rates are expected to fall, the yield curve will also fall. So all the three are right. So the answer should be D. The answer is B.
You can reach me at my website wowacademics.com, or you can also see my Quora answers. I am active in LinkedIn and in Facebook page. So you can visit at these places. If you just type Sham Prasad and Wow Academics, you will get all these links in Google search itself. And if you like this video, give a like, share to your friends, and If you feel that any points we have missed in this video, you can post it. We will try to give an answer to you in the comment section itself, or we'll also create another video for you. So thank you for watching our video.